know what? To hell with this Social Security card. To hell with the birth certificate. I didn't agree to do none of that. It's a contract. My mama was tricked into doing that. I don't own that. It ain't mine. And anyway, y'all got to give it back because it ain't yours. It's theirs. They own it, not you. So you got to give it back. So then we can't be trying to use it and tap into it because it don't belong to us. So I denounce all of that. All right, I denounce everything. My mama was tricked, and I didn't agree. What is it that's going on with this Social Security card? Is it yours? We're going to talk about that today. I'm yours truly, Diva. We're going to get this thing started today. Thank y'all for joining me. Yours truly, Diva Lyri in the house. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. UNA. Yeah. We're going to do this thing today. We're back in business, peoples. Yeah. We're going to get it started. We're talking about, does it really belong to you? Is it yours or is it theirs? We're going to talk about it today. Diva Lyri for the UNARepublic and UNA University. We are getting into it. Winter 2023 coming up. Winter 2023 coming up. I want to say Island Sauce. Welcome. Let's see who else is in the house. If y'all in the house, say something. We prosper. Yes, we do. We prosper today. Welcome. If you all want to ask me any questions on this topic today, and I forgot to put the proper topic up, we can't change it now, but it's we're dealing with, does it belong to you? Does this belong to you? What are we talking about? The birth certificate, the Social Security card, the account, the estate, and all that. We're getting into it today. If you all have any questions about this topic, I want y'all to leave them. If you want to join me, please, I want y'all to send a message and we'd be glad to bring you on and talk to you because I got time today. I try to bless somebody, motivate somebody, help somebody to the next level. I got time today. All right, so we're going into this thing because I woke up motivated. Moving on to another topic. Now, what we're talking about, once again, does it belong to you? You're going to hear people, when we start talking about your sovereignty and gaining your sovereignty, you'll hear a lot of negative talk, and we need to learn to avoid that. What we have to do is remember the laws, all right? Remember, with UNA University, we deal with all laws, the highest laws, the universal laws, all right? And we're going into that today about why it's important to know that, okay? Y'all make sure you like and share and like. And if you want to join the university, you're going to be able to get the links in the profile, all right? So let's get into this. You'll hear people speaking about, oh, they made us slaves and they turned us into slaves, and then my mama was tricked into the birth certificate, and I denounced this. So we're going into all of these different things because, first of all, that's lower vibratory energy, and we have to overcome that because when we understand the higher laws, we recognize the law of duality. The law of duality, which means that the same thing they use to try to hold you down is the same thing you use to uplift yourself. The law of duality. We're going into that tonight. And it's important for you to have the right mindset, because this whole thing is a game. You can't win the game if you're pissed off and upset and you're in what do they call it? I'm a victim. You're in a victimized state. You can't win. You're going to constantly get your butt kicked because you don't understand how to use these things that they're throwing at you. Every time they're throwing something at you or trying to use something to keep you down, the only way they can use it to keep you down is if you continue to allow yourself to be ignorant about it. As soon as you gain knowledge of it, it's got to be used to uplift yourself. Okay? That's how the game works. As soon as you gain knowledge of something that is being used, the Bible being used to keep you enslaved, that same book that you have turned your nose up, we have, all of us did, because we found out about religion and we was like, But there's power in that tool. When you learn what it is and you learn how to use it to your advantage, then we use the law of duality to uplift ourselves out of whatever hole somebody's trying to put us in. All right. So now, let me get into this first part about, does it belong to you? Now, for those of you who don't know, there is the birth certificate that your mother signed when she was in the hospital, when she gave birth. Now, when she signed the birth certificate and all of these other documents, she created money just with her signature. All right. She created money just with her signature alone. So when she comes in and she signs these documents, she creates this certificate, or gives them permission to create a certificate and gives them permission to create an account, a Social Security account. When she signs it, once again, there's money being created, all right? And also a corporation is being created with your all capital letter name. So when you go and look at your driver's license, your telephone bill, your gas bill, your water bill, your mortgage, your car note, they're all in the all capital letter name, because that is the corporation that your mother consented. No, she didn't know what she was doing, but she consented to allow them to create a corporation. The problem is you have been made to believe that you are that dead corporation. So when I say corporation, I'm talking about a corpse. I'm talking about a dead entity. You have allowed these people also to call you a person. A person means a dead entity. But you don't know that. This is why we talk about these things in these sessions. We help you to understand these words or contracts that you are agreeing to. When you call yourself a person or a black person or a minority, an African American or Negro, colored, you're not recognizing that you are entering into a contract when you say that. All right. So I won't go into that today, but I need you to understand this. When your mother consented, they created an estate. Money starts off at $1 million, and it compounds over the span of your life up until 25 years old. The problem is we haven't learned to claim it. Now, so your mother consents for them to create this corporation. She created money with her signature. It goes into a fund that is denoted by your name. Now, this is why every time you go somewhere, you've got to give somebody your Social Security number. Why? Because everything is already paid for. That's why you got to give them that social. And then when you come into the university, you start learning how to get that back. You learn how to get all those funds back because people are constantly tapping into your Social Security account. You've been banking and you don't even know that you have been banking. Well, you're going to learn how to start banking to your advantage now. All right. So you hear people, like I say, they'll say, oh, well, it don't belong to you. The Social Security account doesn't belong to you. The Social Security card doesn't belong to you. The birth certificate, it doesn't belong to you. All right. Let's understand how contracts start. All right. When a contract starts, it starts with a signature. A signature. Your mother started the contract. She is the creator. Your mother is the creator. All right? The beneficiary is you. And then the trustee is the United States corporation. There's always, and don't y'all think I'm putting up no signs, but there's always a triangle. You're going to have your creator at the top, and you have your beneficiary, and then you have your trustee. Your mother is the creator. You are the beneficiary. The trustee is the United States corporation. Now let's understand something. The only one who it could belong to, this estate, is your mother who created it, or you who is the beneficiary. The problem is you don't understand how to walk as a beneficiary. You don't understand how to become a creator or an owner of your estate, because you got to learn how to take over it. You got to learn how to claim it. You got to claim it. Because right now it's just sitting out in limbo. Your mother created this wonderful estate for you, and you haven't claimed it. Now, getting back to these people who are saying it doesn't belong to you, once again, it's got your name on it. It's your all capital letter name. That's your corporation. It's not you. The all cap name is the corporation your mother agreed to let them create. So only two people who it can belong to is you or your mother. Now, let's talk about why this trustee can't own nothing. We talk about the United States corporation. That is now y'all notice the term I said, corporation. Corp, as in dead. It's a dead fictitious entity. It can't own anything of value for any reason. It can't own a pen. It can't own a piece of paper, and especially not a piece of paper with an autograph or a signature on it. It has value. The corporation, oh, but Diva, on the back of this Social Security card, it say that it belongs to the administration of the whatever. Is that a dead fictitious entity? Yes, it is. Of course, they're going to tell you it belongs to them because it has value. And as soon as you abandon it, regardless of whether they deceived you telling you that it belonged to them, if you abandon it after 3 years, they're going to claim the funds for themselves. So you have to know who you are and what this is. It belongs to you. They can't own it. It's in the name that your mother created. It's in an estate that your mother created for you as the beneficiary. So all of these people right around talking about, I denounce it. I didn't agree to this. My mama signed the thing at my birth, and I was underage. And be quiet. Be quiet. Because what you're doing, your mother gave you a gift. Your mother created an estate for you with these funds in it. Now, you can walk away from it. You can. You can just, you know what? I don't want nothing to do. And I did that. I did. I was like, you know what? Y'all keep that. I'm out. And I dipped. Went to another country and never wanted to come back. Or you can learn to take it over. And then use it as the banker that you are. You've been signing everything. Every time you sign something, you're banking. And so once you learn what's going on in this game, then you learn to take over your estate and use it for yourself. I'm going to go into the federal side of this real quick. And let's understand something on the federal side, and then we're going to go into the universal laws as well. And once again, if you all want to come on and speak to me, if you have any questions, I'd love to have you on. Leave them in the inbox, or if you want to come on and talk to me, I'd love to have you. I want to put up the hierarchy of laws, because I'm going into the federal side of this game now. And I want y'all to pay attention to what I'm talking about now. That's the universal laws. We're coming back to that. Let me go into the federal side of this game. All right. So now, when we're talking about federal laws or federal codes, right here, federal codes. I hope y'all remember I spoke about what federal means. Federal means a covenant with God. A covenant with God. And so these people who are federal agents, they take oaths. And those oaths end with, so help me God. All right? And that's important to understand because they take an oath to protect God's property. Well, what is God's property? Well, the people. You are God's property. They are to serve you. So what has happened is they are there to provide you with your estate. But the fact that we have fallen very ignorant to law, we can't tap into this. But this is why we need to start learning to read these federal codes right here. All right? These federal codes. Because of the simple fact that we're understanding there's a trustee called the United States Corporation that's over here administering your trust, and they're blocking. All right? And so we've been made to fear the federal government by this company or this blocker who's standing in the way of us receiving the funds that the federal government has set for us. And so the reason why it's important for you to start recognizing this hierarchy of law, once again, if you all don't have this, go to UNARepublic.com/docs and pull this down. But you understand this hierarchy of law chart, then you understand where you are in this game. Now, the deal is, going back to federal, we have been made to fear the federal government, when the truth is it's the federal government that's providing us funds. We've been made to fear the Internal Revenue Service, which is supposedly the ones who comes after us. It's not the Internal Revenue Service, it's the IRS. But Diva, what you talking about? Diva, they the same thing. Internal Revenue Service, IRS. You need to understand that with everything we're doing, there's a federal side, and then there's a private corporation side. Even when you walk into the post office, there's the United States Post Office, and then there's the United States Postal Service. The United States Post Office is federal. The United States Postal Service, that's a private corporation that's contracted by the federal government to provide you with services. But this company is blocking, because really you're not supposed to be paying for stuff when you go into the post office. When you come into the university, you learn how to pay for certain things or learn how to do certain things without paying. All right? So getting back to the fact that there is the Internal Revenue Service, and then there's the IRS. Of course, they're going to present themselves as though they're both the same, but they are not. One of them is not going to come at you and be trying to charge you for taxes. The other one will. You'll know somebody is not federal when they're coming at you with a contract. When a company, because all it is a company or a corporation, comes at you talking about paying for something or trying to charge you for something, it is not the federal government, because the federal government can't charge you. They're supposed to be giving money to you. And somebody said it's all the same. Well, I'm not talking to you, because what you need to do, if you're not willing to understand what's going on in the game, then I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to people who really want to know the truth. Okay, I'm going to show you something because, again, this is that desire to stay ignorant that causes us to not be able to move to the next level. I'm going to show you something. Let's see if I can find. I'm going to show you a 5 and a 1. So here you go. Here you go. She fine as 53. Okay. Are these the same? Here you go. I want you to tell me, since you know everything. These the same? Somebody tell me. This 1 and this 5. Are they the same? They look the same. They look like they're the same animal. Are these the same? They're not the same animal. And I'm going to tell you why, since, somebody's saying they're all the same, so that we can make this clear and understand that there's a game being played under your nose. And if you choose to be ignorant, you will continue to get stepped on. So if you're sick of getting stepped on, pay attention and take notes. These, one of them is federal. One of them is owned by the United States Corporation. Pay attention. Do y'all see that seal? There's a seal here. Actually, it's on this side. And it's got a letter in it. Let me see if I can put it up close so that you can see it. See that letter? That letter is representative of one of the Federal Reserve banks. There are 12 of them, 13 of them in the United States. Whereas this one, when you look in that same area, it says Federal Reserve System. This is not a federal instrument. So y'all need to pay attention, because when you recognize this one is backed, this one is not, this one is federal, this one is not. Take a look at the top of here where you see Federal Reserve note. It's in a box. Those who are in my university and they understand law, they understand that anytime you see something in a box, that means that it's really not on the page. You don't understand that, but when you know law, you understand things like the four-corner rule. Why does it matter that this is not really on the page? Because this is not really the same thing as this. This thing here is a product of the United States Corporation. It's not backed. This one is. And so what happens is when they start devaluing the dollar and start, revaluing the currency, and you go in with a $20 bill, and now that $20 bill is only worth $10, but this one will not lose its value, because this is a true federal instrument. Federal instruments. This is a trust that we show you how to create. What's the difference between this $1 or these dollar stamps? Because this one is, let me see if I can see the price on it, $8 and something cents. Difference between this and a forever stamp. See, if you don't know the difference, you're going to think that your document is protected under federal jurisdiction because it's got a forever stamp. They're going to tell you a forever stamp is the same as the regular stamps, when it's not. This is a federal product. This is a product of the United States. Well, why do it matter, Diva? Well, this is a very serious document here that I'm holding. This is a trust. And the deal with a trust is that you want to have it under federal jurisdiction. Those who are playing this game are going to tell you it's the same thing. Those who are playing this game are going to tell you that the IRS and the Internal Revenue Service are the same thing, when the truth is the federal government can't be suing you for nothing. You are the federal government. They owe you. But a company, a private company that's hired, they'll come after you. And if you don't know how to stand, they're going to have you jacked up and scared, and taxes jacked up and credit jacked up and everything else. We learn how to stand because we have knowledge. Now, you're going to learn these federal codes so you can understand when these people come at you, what you need to say and do. Let me go into the law of duality so that we can understand this. And once again, if you all have anything, if you want to come on and share and speak, I'll be glad to have you on. I'm just looking at this note. The post office shouldn't be charging people for stamps, and that's not true. She said the post office should not be charging people for stamps, and that's not true. I don't even understand what that's supposed to mean. Thank you all for the flowers. A fire. I had somebody else to charge. Thank you for the flowers. It popped off before I could see it. It's a flight. All right. So now here's the deal. Getting on this, and I'm gonna get on I'm gonna get on her comments in a few seconds. I want to go into this, and then I'm gonna come out of it. Let's go into. I need to go into the universal laws, which are the higher laws, and you can see here. These are, very high laws that we have to learn about, and because we've been ignorant of them, we've been getting stepped on. And so, one second, let me find universal laws, because I want to go into the law of duality and why this is so important. Listen, there have been things that have been used to keep us down. All right, I'll answer that question in a second. Now, law of duality down here, or law of polarity, duality or polarity right here. This is dealing with, and if you can read, I'm gonna move out the way so you can read it. But basically, the law of polarity states that all things have duality. And what does that mean? Once again, going back to, if someone is using a particular thing to keep you down, then that thing can be used as a positive. Meaning all things, if it's evil, then it's got a negative side. It's just like a coin has two sides. Everything has duality. Everything has two sides, and we have to learn that when we're coming up against something that is negative or something that is holding us down, then that, when we gain knowledge of it, then we learn how to turn it to our benefit. Hair Woo, thank you for the roses. I sure do appreciate you guys. Thank you for the love. Y'all like and share, and so that we can, like I said, build and grow in this game. Now, it's important to remember these laws, because this is how we come up, especially the law of duality. So the other thing is, if you're wanting to win in this game, you've got to keep your vibratory frequency high. You've got to be at the point where, okay, this is frustrating to me, or this is whatever, and then be willing to gain knowledge about what it is and then change it. Right? That's how we build on this game. So what you want to just remember as I speak about this is that there is always duality in all of this. Just like we talk about the duality when we're dealing with things, if it's considered a governmental thing, then there's going to be duality in it. All right. If we're talking about the post office, there's a federal side, and then there is a corporation, a private corporation that's running it. With these bills, there's a federal side, and then there's the corporation that have created their own documents. Even with federal instruments, anything like that is going to have duality. When you get knowledge of it, then you can learn to use it to your benefit. When we're talking about the birth certificate and the social security card and the all capital letter corporation, yes, they have been used to keep us enslaved. But the only reason why we were enslaved is because we didn't have knowledge. Now, if you're willing to have knowledge, then you can come up. All right, you can stop being stepped on. You can start banking in the way that you've been banking with these people and didn't have a clue that you were banking. All right. So let me, at this point, take some time, because I know she fine is 53, had a lot to say, and I want to make sure that I, address her comments. And she, fine as 53, if you want to come in, let me know. We'll hit her up and see if she wants to come on. If she's got enough, then enough people, then we'll bring her on. Of course not overvalue the next buy amount. No idea what she's talking about there. Wonderger2 says, yes, you use it, spend it, save it, enjoy it, cause it's trash. I don't understand what she's saying. She fine as 53. You said the post office shouldn't be charging people for their product. They're not. As a matter of fact, she fine as 53. What you have to understand is that everything is already paid for. So if I don't pay taxes, how do I not go to jail? CFBB. This is why you join the university, so that you understand what taxes are, why they come into play, how to protect yourself, and how to deal with agents when they come at you. What does that has to do with federal or state? She fine. I don't know what does what have to do. So if y'all sending me questions, say them in complete sentences so that I can understand what you're saying, please, and then I can respond. Roger that. Seer BB. Okay, thank you. And once again, thank you all for joining. Jack Rabbit, thank you. CBB, Lee Barnes, Joy Life, thank you so much. And even She Fine, thank you for joining. Thank you for your comments. Just became a top viewer. Thank you, iFlight. You are the best. Yes, you are. Why got me? Why do we have to pay taxes on money won? Who got me? Because you don't know how to claim your estate. That's why. Once you claim your estate and you start learning what's really going on in this game, you're going to understand what the elite know. Things that were put into place for us, but they didn't teach us, but started using. B4, thank you for that. Be for real. These things were put into place for us. All right. But as B4 said, they teach us how to use it. We became ignorant, but they use it against us. So once you gain knowledge of it, then you can use your estate and you can start banking like you've been banking, but you can use it to your advantage. All right. There are certain things and certain laws that the federal government has put into place, but because we have no clue of them, we think that what these people are telling us is laws and not laws. But what the federal government has put into place for us, we don't have knowledge of it, and so we haven't been using it. Well, that's why you come into the university, so we can start using it. Federal or state doesn't pay postal workers their checks. I don't know what She Fine is talking about. Thank you, Herwoo. Marlo, thank you for joining us. Apostle Bradley, thank you for joining us. Post office makes money off of deliveries, P.O. boxes, and purchases of stamps to pay employees. Okay, which point? Because they also making money off a whole bunch of other things that I won't go into here either. But the bottom line is, now She Fine, let me tell you something. If you want to pay, then that's fine. You know, there are people who know full well that we're not supposed to be paying taxes. They know full well, but they're like, well, I'll pay taxes because that's what we're supposed to do. If you want to pay taxes, then go ahead. Congratulations. But are you truly paying taxes to pave some roads? And no, you're not. You're paying that to a private entity, and that doesn't have anything to do with the roads and anything else. But go ahead. If it makes you feel better, then that's good. That's great. She will answer you. Okay. The corporation and the courts and the internal revenue want you to think it's a scam. All true. Be for real. I'm not sure which part of you saying is a scam. You look nice today. You talking to me, Jenny? Jenny, thank you so much for the love. These things were put into place for us, but they didn't teach us, but started using against us. Yes. How do you join the university? Alvis, Thank you for joining. Send a message so that we can go ahead and do a consultation with you and bring you in. We start in January 15th. But yeah, go ahead and send a message. Legend, thank you for joining. How do you join? How do you join university? Once again, thank you, Fast Pace. Join us. These nuts. What's going on? Welcome. Marcus and Haskin, thank you for joining. States have some whack laws. My uncle just got out after 25 years after Georgia violated 9 of his. Okay, 9 of his what? Is there anyone that wants to come on, Sunset? How can I get denied for a mortgage if they using my social security number? So thank you, Miss M11. Thank you for that. So let's talk about this. Again, that social security number is king. All right? Because this is where all the funds are in your social security estate. Now, why do you give it to them? Because as soon as you give it to them, they are tapping into your estate. Anytime you give that social security number, you are giving somebody permission to tap into your estate. Now, they're not supposed to deny you federal credit by federal codes. And we go into this in the university about how to sue them when they do that. Because as soon as you've given them the social security number for the house is paid for. I'm going to say it again because somebody might have missed it. As soon as you give them that social security number for the house is paid for. So they're tapping into that estate on several occasions. But especially when you give them the social security number, they go, well, we're going to run credit to see if your credit... Again, that's another corporation. When we're talking about credit checks and credit bureaus and credit, that's that corporation because you already have credit. Your mother secured that. But here you got this United States corporation that's blocking you with a credit check and a credit this and trying to keep you from being able to tap into the estate because it's already there. Well, why is that important? Because if you can just tap into the estate, then you don't need them. The point is to, again, keep you a slave, keep you ignorant. All right? So, yeah, if you gave them your social, you best believe they tapped your account and it's already paid for. But what's going to happen is you're going to walk away and you're not going to question what happened. And then they, in 3 years, are going to claim the property that you abandoned because you never claimed it. You never said anything about it. Thank you, Kia Knows. Thank you for the love. You never challenged them on what they're doing. Why? Because we don't know the laws. Well, let me rephrase that. We're learning the laws so that you can start suing them. You can start putting your contracts into play. You can start banking the way you're supposed to be banking. You can gain knowledge and you can start using your estate the way it's supposed to be used. They denied you credit, but you best to believe they tapped your account. And then they're going to, in 3 years, claim what your mama gave you because you didn't know to claim it. Yes, y'all like and share. Thank you, Russell. Let's see. Ali Boy, thank you for joining. Their commercial codes. That's right, A Light, A Flight. They are commercial codes. And you all can look them up. Listen, Cornell University does a very good job of posting all of those codes. And when you start getting into these federal codes, you start to see that we've got so many protections that we never use because we don't know how to write. So we're learning how to create instruments. We're learning how to create contracts. We're learning how to make these people, hold these people to the fire when they're denying us credit, because that's illegal. But if you don't say anything, well, then they're going to keep doing it. How do I become a postmaster? We talk about that, A-Flight. Send your name in the inbox and your number, and we're going to make sure we, hey, little Danny, we're going to make sure we set up a consultation with you. Federal Reserve is milking taxpayers with zero return on interest to the American people. Thank you, Fast Freddy. Let me go into this real quick about what's going on with the Federal Reserve. All right, so I spoke about the Federal Reserve and how when we're dealing on the federal side, you know, that's what we deal with because we find our protection on the federal side. But let me hip you all to what happened and caused the federal government to get into this thing. All right, or the so-called federal banks. Back when the British came in and they were doing business with the original people of the Americas. They were doing business. They used IOUs. All right. They were using paper currency like I owe you this. And that's what the original currency was, the IOUs. All right. And the British recognized that, oh, they got this currency in here. They got, you know what, tell you what, don't pay us with IOUs. We want the gold. Just give us the gold. And then that gold and silver became the standard. All right, that's how it became this standard that everybody's using today. All right, so now what ends up happening is this gold and silver was too heavy to be carrying around everywhere. So then it was like, we're going to put it in trust with these different banks. And these banks were holding on to the gold of the people. Y'all pay attention now, because it gets complicated. But the banks were holding on to the gold of the people. So then it became, all right, well, you know, tell you what, I'm going to write you an IOU. And then you can go to the bank, and bank got my gold in an account. And then they're going to give you some money based on the gold that's in my account. All right. And so at this time, you know, people would create IOUs or checks or whatever, and they would be backed by the gold that the people had in the bank. All right. So now what happens is, pay attention, the United States Corporation comes in and borrows this gold that the banks are holding. Now, this is not the United States government. They want to tell you, oh, the United States government borrowed the gold. That it didn't. It was the United States Corporation. Well, what's the difference, Diva? It's the United States Corporation, same thing. No, it's not. Once again, I told y'all got these two entities. They look the same. But they're not. These are not. Okay, well, what's the difference? The United States Corporation is owned by Britain. The United States of America was created by a group of elite melanated folks coming from another land. This is the United States Corporation product. This is a Federal Reserve banknote. Now, what happened is when the United States Corporation stole the gold, or they borrowed the gold, the United States Corporation, Britain. When they borrowed the gold, they never brought it back. And then they started giving the United States federal banks, they started giving the banks, the first one to do it was New York, Bank of New York. But they started giving the people these notes. And back in the day, you know, the people, they was accepting them. And so instead of giving back the gold, the United States is giving them these crappy notes. And then the federal banks are starting to sell these to the people and take more of their gold. Y'all pay attention now. Because at some point the people start saying, hey, we don't want this paper no more. Here, take this back. We want our gold back. And then the federal banks They said, well, we're not accepting that. What you mean you're not accepting these back when I gave you my gold? So now there's a run on the banks. That's when there's this run on the banks. And then getting up to 1933, where the United States Corporation became bankrupt. So let's understand something, people. The United States Corporation is bankrupt that belongs to Britain. The United States of America is not. You are the United States of America. Y'all not bankrupt. These people over here are. These people over here want to keep you from getting to the funds now that the Federal Reserve banks are holding. Let's understand this. The Federal Reserve banks are now indebted to the people for giving their money away to this private corporation called the United States Corporation. They're indebted. Everything was already paid anyway. So now what comes up is 1933. There's this whole removal of these notes, these Federal Reserve notes off of the gold standard. They're not on the gold standard anymore. Why? Because there's no more gold. That gold has been stolen. By whom? United States Corporation, Britain, and whoever else they're working with. So now the Federal Reserve banks, they have a responsibility to the people. This is when the whole birth certificate and the trust, trust had been going on long before that. But this is when it was introduced in such a way to where the corporations of the people would become debtors to the United States Corporation. So when your mother signed the birth certificate, what she signed over is an instrument of money to the United States Corporation to be trustee. Your mother could have done that herself and just done business directly with the federal government, but she didn't know how to do all this. So she, allowed the United States Corporation to do it for her. But what you got to understand is that the United States Corporation is like a big credit union. It's like a big credit union. They're holding the credits of your mother. So your mother creates this corporation or consented for them to create this corporation. That's your business under the United States Corporation. That's your business under the United States Corporation. It belongs to you. You just haven't claimed it. So now they're making the assumption that you are the dead corporation. Well, when you wake up and stand up, and you start claiming the assets that belong to you, you're going to refute that whole assumption. And they're going to have to treat you with the banking respect that you deserve. But you can't deserve it if you don't know about it. If you don't have knowledge of it and you can refuse to listen and pay attention to what's really going on. All right. I hope I brought some understanding to you about what is going on the federal side. Once again, you got these two currencies. This one is federal. So notice with the $1 bill, these things have not changed over a long period of time. They've stayed the same, but these keep changing. The heads get bigger. The colors keep changing. The design keeps changing. These belong to the United States Corporation. Your $1 bill and your $2 bill. Note, see that letter? Hold on. See that letter right there? Yeah, that's backed by a bank. This one is not. Anything, your 5, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s, they have no backing. They're not true federal instruments. All right, let me keep going. Thank you, Fast Freddy, for your question. Nibiru. I don't know if that's supposed to be Nibiru or Nibiru. Thank you for joining. Luca, KMO, thank you for joining. Can you refuse to give your social security number? She fine. Yes, you can. You can refuse to give your social security number. So let's understand the game that we playing. You can refuse to give them a number and then they're going to refuse you service. But once you give them your social security number, they are on the hook. So when you playing the game, you like, oh, you want my social security number? Here you go. And then when they take it, as soon as they take it, they are on the hook and they owe you. You see? So when you change your mindset about it, it's like, oh, okay. And then when the cop comes at you now, see, we learned the cop comes at you, we ready to make some money. You ready to charge? You ready to put a charge on me? Okay, well, I'm going to give you a charge too. I'm going to give you a ticket. And we learned that because when a cop comes at you, that is a business negotiation. They are trying to contract with you. Well, we learn how to contract and we make it to our advantage because cop, when you pulling me over, first of all, you're violating my rights. Second of all, I'm getting ready to charge you for every minute you got me here because that's on my violation of rights fee schedule. If you want to play, let's play. Cha-ching. I'm going to play this game. I'm not even going to try to fight you or battle you. No, this is about money. Let's take this into court because what you got to understand is that the court is a bank. That's why they call it the bench. The bench that the judge is sitting on, that's a bank. The post office is a bank. So we're going to start learning how to play the game. This seems hard to believe, but it's all real and true. Thank you, Be For Real. IRS sent my stuff to outside agencies, UCC 1-308. Yeah, so listen, I told y'all you're going to have the Internal Revenue Service and the IRS. They are not the same because, again, when we're talking about federal is about protecting you, the people. They can't charge you if they wanted to. And they don't want to. It's about them giving you money. But there are these corporations. We're talking about anything with an acronym, IRS, CIA, FBI, all those, they belong to the United States Corporation, not to the federal government. Just because they say they federal don't mean they federal. But if they're calling themselves federal, then you're going to hold them to another standard. And you know, if they're coming at you talking about taking you to court or suing you for something, they're not federal at all, period. Because they can't sue you. They can't take, because they're supposed to give you money. All right. Kia Knows Things. Thank you, Kia Knows. Became a top viewer. Yes. Binko. Does anybody want to come on? As I go through these, Willa. How can I go back to the dealership that did it to me? Gonzala, you got to come into class because you got to learn how to write contracts. All right, you got to learn how to write the contract and how to hold it down because it's not just about, oh, okay, I'm gonna go talk. You can't talk to these people, by the way, because you got to understand that in the matrix, what we call in the matrix, people don't really have mouths. Corporations don't talk. You got to put things in writing with these people. And then you got to hold them to it. And then that's when you can take them into court. And then once you take them into court, we learn how to just file the taxes on them and make them pay. We learn how to, again, do direct business with the Internal Revenue Service, the federal government, because we're going to file on them. And we're going to file doing what they've been doing to us the whole time. How is it that the IRS ends up garnishing your wages and taking stuff from your bank? Well, that's because the Internal Revenue Service, the federal government, is working on their behalf. Well, they're supposed to work on our behalf too. But they can't work on our behalf if we don't know how to call them and how to contract with them. All right? So you got to learn how to write contracts. That's why we have contract writing courses. We coming up this season, it is going to be combined in our course called Whose Court Is It Anyway? It's called Whose Court Is It Anyway? So we go into writing financial instruments, how you create them, contract writing, administrative process, creating your own court. All right. And then in our bankers session, we actually go into how to file those taxes and make the Internal Revenue Service work on your behalf. Jermel says she's been getting messed over by the IRS almost 5 years. Yeah, when you learn how to write a contract, and really, again, you dealing with the IRS. If they talking about suing you, that's not the federal government. You learn how to write a contract, you learn how to get them off your case. I want to learn how to fight back. Where do I start? Miss M, send a message with your number and let's get a consultation so we can get you enrolled in this upcoming season. Good day, Anubis. It won't let me send my info. Willa, please hold on for a second. Please get She Finds information and fast pace. We having a problem getting the info through, Willa. Let me know what's going on so I can send them to another link. Yes, I need to learn more about negotiable instruments, iFlight. Join us. If you're under trust, you can get into our advanced seminar where we deal with financial instruments and banking. Promissory. Anubis says promissory. Yes, promissory notes. I'm going to go over, I'll do that real quick. Let's go into what a promissory note is and how you can use it. So, yeah, you can write a promissory note and put it on public record. Promissory note is it can be as simple as you and somebody else have an agreement, for example, for a car. And at the top you write promissory note. And you have a VIN number of the car, the description of the car, who the parties are. You are a party, and the other person is a party, and they're agreeing to pay you this much money for the car, and that's that. And put it on public record with the county. That's of course, for those of y'all who don't know, the county is the highest authorized agency on land on the private side. When we're dealing with land, your house, your car, anything you're claiming, you're owning, you want to put that on record with the county. That's going to be the true lien. All right. Let's see. Thank all of you all for joining. I really do appreciate you all being here. I need to learn more about bonds, negotiable instruments as well. We actually go into creating bonds. We go into creating contracts. We go into knowing how to put them on record. All right. So that you can start once again banking. And the more we start learning about this stuff, the more we can start banking with each other instead of depending on somebody else to do it for us, a third party. She fine as F. Yeah, that is why they went after Gaddafi. That is why. But if you want to know how to do this so that you can come up out of your whatever you're in, then join us. Send a message so we can get a consultation with you, and then get you in the university so you can start learning how to walk. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Did anybody want to come on and talk to me? Am I able to get anybody on? Coercion from the hospitals. Anubis, yes, there is coercion from the hospitals. Now, I want to go into this, and I thank you for bringing that up and stating that. All right, so let's understand how this works. Yes, your mother is coerced into signing over title, because that's what she did to your vessel. And she didn't recognize what the contract was. Now, again, all things have duality, because let's understand this. If she doesn't coerce you in the hospital, then when you go and try to get a house and you don't have a social security number to give them, then you don't really have the title that somebody else does. Because when they ask you for a social security number, again, you're giving them money or access to something that's owed to you. And now you can hold them to it. Now you can charge them. You can't do that if you don't have the social. Again, I'm not saying what they did was right. What I am saying is they tried to put you into bondage. But there's always duality. Because that same thing they tried to use to put you into bondage is the same thing you can now use once you get knowledge of it to uplift yourself and get whatever you desire. All right. So it's important to keep our mindset on a positive frequency, because you can't win if you're in a victim mind state. You got to come out of your victim mind state and recognize that with these universal laws, you always win. You always win. Always. We stay winning because we keep our vibratory frequency high and we got knowledge of these laws and we know how to use them. So bring your dirt. Bring your dirt. Dump it on me. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to shake it off and step up on it. I'm going to have a pile under me. I'm going to be so high because I'm not allowing you to bury me in this dirt. Bring it. I'm using it to create the mountain. Contract signed under duress can be found to be null and void. Thank you, Maddish Shango. So let's talk about that. When you have, let's say the cop pulls you over and they're telling you to sign. We talk to you all about this all the time. I just talked to you all about how this, where it says Federal Reserve note is in a box. It's in a box here, but on these other higher bills, it's not in a box. These are Federal Reserve notes, meaning they belong to the United States Corporation. This one is not. Now, one of the things, speaking of the box, that you can do, again, when you put something in a box, that means it doesn't exist on the page. So if you have to sign a document, put it in a box. And if it goes to court, and we don't go to court because we know how to deal with that before it ever reaches a court. That's why you need to come into university and understand what you're doing. But if it goes to court, then the judge has to recognize, oh, this is in a box. It doesn't really exist. All right, that's one thing you do. The other thing is, if you feel the need to sign the ticket because the cop is pressuring you and threatening to arrest you and all of that, then you put under threat and coercion. You could put on there, I'm so scared, or I'm frightened out of my mind. Whatever you want to write on there. A cop is threatening me. Okay, if you put that under there, then what happens is that the contract becomes null and void. Now, why is that? Okay, I'm going back to these laws because I talked about the Bible, and there are a set of laws in the Bible. They're called maxims that we are unaware of. All right. These are also known as God's laws, laws of maxim. They're also known as God's laws. Now, in God's law, what God is saying is that no one can force you into a contract. There is no contract where there's force. These come straight from the Bible. This is why I tell you all to understand what these laws are. If you don't have them, go download them from UNARepublic.com/law. Because in these laws, there are all these protections for you. And one of them is no one can force you into a contract. That's by what God said. And if y'all don't, even if you don't believe in God, keep that to yourself. Because these people running this game sure as well believe that there is a God and they respect the laws of this God. When you go into court, you swearing on the Bible. So help you God. That means they believe there's a God. All right. They believe there is a God. And not only that, when the Bible is where those laws come from. All of the laws, any law that man writes down here under corporation where they only create code, statutes, and ordinances. Any law that they create down here, it is coming from the laws up here. All right. And what these people down here are trying to do is take away the rights that God has given you up here. So you get down here, and now as a citizen, you only have privileges. You don't have any rights down here. You got privileges. Because these people have created code, statutes, and ordinances specifically for the purpose of taking away your God-given rights up here. So this is why it's important to understand what law is. And thank you for bringing that up. Contracts signed under duress, they are null and void. You just need to write it on there. Also, you see people on here writing 1-308. That's another code. It means all rights reserved. So once again, you got rights up here, and you can actually write out all rights reserved. You see on people's websites where it says all rights reserved, they're saying, I'm not giving up my rights to anything. So you can write all rights reserved. You can write UCC 1-308, and you can put it all in a box. And once again, that box, you can look up the 4-corner rule, because when you put something in a box and there's that 4-corner rule, that means it doesn't exist. So if your signature is not on the page, then there is no contract. And y'all need to understand full well that a ticket is a contract. A ticket is a court of law. So when the cop be like, oh, you can show up in court. No, we doing court right here on the side of the road. This is what court is right here. You need to understand that you're contracting. All right. Let's see here. Thank you all of you all for joining. Lame me. I feel so close to freedom, but can't touch it. MC McGraw, I understand how you feel. Feel free to join us, all right, in the university. If you want a consultation, you can hit us up as well. Anubis, silver certificate. Yes, we go into those. We should give our EIN number. A-Flight, yes, you can give your EIN number as well for your business, because that is a business. So we learn how to start building up the credit on our business. And see, some of y'all, when we get real good, we're going to learn how to create businesses and create credit for our businesses. And then you can sell the business. People will buy your business just because it's got good credit. You learn how to do that. We learn how to create persons. All right. And give those persons credit. And then other people who want to buy the business, they can come in and buy buy that business because it's got a good credit established. Anubis, we research our families. I mean, we have certain people who do research on their own families, but I'm not totally sure what you're looking to do. If I go to court in order to win, who do I want to be? Trustee, beneficiary, or executor? Rico Pera. Rico Pera has got a trivia question. So if I go to court in order to win, who do I want to be? All right. In order to win, Rico, you would be the beneficiary or the executor. If you're in court, depending on your situation, first of all, I wouldn't be in court. But if you had to go to court, if you're acting as the executor to settle the matter and you've signed a ticket already, then there's certain terms that you use that we go over in the university so that you can settle the matter right there. And you can do that as beneficiary or executor, but you surely want to make sure that you understand. And thank you for this, Rico. Y'all need to understand something when you're walking into court. Now, I told you all, your mother created an all capital letter corporation. Pay attention. Take notes. Your mother created an all capital letter corporation, or she consented for them to create an all capital letter corporation. That is your name in all capital letters. That is not you. All this stuff about what's being traded on the stock market, your corporation is being traded on the stock market, not you. You can't be traded, but your corporation can. That is being traded. Now, in understanding that, all right, these people, when they create financial instruments, which is a ticket, that ticket has your all capital letter corporation on it. Now, let's understand why this is important. Whoever created that ticket, that's a financial instrument. All right. When you walk into court, all right, the judge and the prosecutor, they are the all capital letter name, not you. The court needs for you to answer to that name. Because as long as you don't answer to that name, they got to pay. The judge and the prosecutor has to pay. That's why they call, we're going to sound your name, Jesse James. And then you to my, yes, I'm Jesse James. You just took the charge. You just stood up as the trustee of the dead entity. So you had to pay that charge. But as soon as you say, I'm the authorized representative of the estate, they're going to get upset with you because somebody got to pay that. The prosecutor's got to pay that. If your fine is $500, the prosecutor's got to pay this $500. If your fine is $1,000, the prosecutor's got to pay that. Why? Because they have created this instrument and they need somebody to stand up and take the charge. And as long as you don't, when you walk into court, you know who Jesse James is, the judge and the prosecutor. That's who Jesse James, not you, but them. So you can learn what to say if you're going to walk into these people's courtroom, what to say. What do I need to say? And for us, if I walk in there, I'm walking in there under my own contract. So I'm in my own courtroom. Y'all don't even understand your power. When you learn to wield a pen, you're going to start seeing some real power. Let me try to get through these. I'm interested. How can I register for your class? Waverty. Please leave your number. And we're going to set up a consultation with everybody. We're preparing for our new season in January 15th. We'd love to have all of you all in the session so that you can really learn how to stand. The more of us that know how to stand, the better. Y'all know we got a lot of power just in our pen. And when we learn to wield it, we're going to start banking in a different way. Thank you, Live Love. Live, Love, Laugh. Thank you so much. I'd love to have you in the seminar. Tyunda. Message to who? I'm not sure. Harold, thank you for joining, and thank you. Anubis, once again, thank you for the love. Mary, right. How much for your class? Mary, we have a consultation. I want you to join us. I'm going to tell you, I don't like to say because I'm interested as well. So let me go ahead and put this out here so y'all can understand. Our sessions are per season. And I want y'all to start choking. Don't start choking. Just pay attention because y'all are elite people listening to me right here, right now. If y'all stay with me this long, you all are some elite people. Our sessions are $5,000 per season. That's for a 3-month period. Now, we do have financing. We have financing. Cass wants to join. Uh-oh. I was going to press accept. Send it back, Cass. All right, send it back. I didn't get a chance to press it. So, but what we have is financing. All right. So when you do the financing, it's only the $333 for 2 seasons, which is 6 months. All right. And you sign a financial instrument over to how to write financial instruments. You're going to learn how to sue people who have not been acting right in accordance to law with you. You're going to learn how to stand. All right. And so we do have that financing. So if you're really interested, go ahead and send a message. Did I freeze? We got to do something about this this TikTok, because TikTok will freeze up on me in a minute. Let me get through these questions because it looks like I got a whole bunch of questions. I would love to work with you. Anubis, I would love to work with you. But I'm in BNK BKNY. It doesn't matter where you are on the planet. I've had people in my session from Australia and New Zealand and Bahamas and Grenada. So yeah, it doesn't matter where you are. I'm in Miami. Where are you located? We do our sessions, by the way, online on Zoom. So as long as you are able to get Zoom and a good connection, you're gonna be in the house. KMO, I want you to be in the classes too. So sign up, send your number, and we're going to do a consultation with everybody who wants to be a part of the university. Is it legal or illegal to open foreign accounts with those established bonds? Apollo, thank you for your question. And this is the thing, because I'll get this, is it legal or illegal? And of course, those who want to block you are going to tell you certain things are illegal. What you have to recognize is that the funds belong to you. The funds belong to you. And you also, with that term foreign, foreign, you got to understand that the United States Corporation is foreign to us. The United States Corporation, and notice I'm saying United States Corporation and not United States of America. That is a British territory, and it's only operating out of Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is not even a state. If y'all remember, Washington, D.C. is a 10-mile by 10-mile square block of land. That's what it was originally. It was a 10-mile by 10-mile square. Remember what I told you, what the four-corner rule is, a square. It means it's not really a part of the plane that it's sitting on. Washington, D.C. is not a state. It's a territory that is foreign to the United States of America. Britain is operating out of this 10-mile by 10-mile square land under the United States Corporation. So they're foreign to the United States of America. And to be honest, we're not supposed to even be pledging any kind of allegiance. It's really illegal for us to be pledging allegiance to the United States Corporation because it's owned by Britain. But we don't know that. That's why we got to get knowledge of what's really going on in this game. But no, it's not illegal for you to use your funds to do business with foreign accounts when the United States is a foreign account. It's foreign. You're already doing business on a foreign level when you're doing business with them. Let me see if I can get through these. And once again, I literally just got finished crying. What you crying for, Miss M? Thank you, Julian, for joining us. Be Angie. I have a window of 3 years to learn this so I can free myself from my job. All right, McGraw, come on in. Let's get it done. Check my last video for some truth. Thank you, Anubis. Post your last video if you can, or send it to me in the inbox so I can take a look at it. Just wondering how much this is going to cost. I get hyped and then I can't afford. Oh, thank you, Tayuda. So let's go into this. Now, I need y'all to understand something. Going back to the universal law and natural law, we live in abundance. If y'all don't get anything I said today, please get this. We live in abundance. That's what natural law says. Why? How you know, Diva? Okay, if I plant a seed, if I plant a tomato seed, is the universe and nature only going to give me one seed back? Is the universe going to be stingy like, nah, you know, we're not going to give you but half a seed because that's all, we feel like you. No, if you plant a tomato seed, you're going to get a whole bunch of a tomato vine with a whole bunch of tomatoes, and each of them have a whole bunch of seeds. That is nature. Nature only mimics universal law. That's all it's doing. Nature is only mimicking what the universe has already put into play. So with that, let's understand this. We live in abundance, but we've been made to think scarcity and hoarding. And one of the things that I teach people, like when I told somebody one time, I told him the price, and he was like, woo, woo. Normal people, the average person don't have that kind of funds. We don't deal with average people. We deal with elite people. People who know that when they speak to the universe, that the universe is going to deliver. They know how to manifest. Everybody here has the ability to manifest. You've been manifesting. That's all you do is manifest. When you speak out your mouth, then that's what's going to come to you. Getting down here to these laws of maxim, there are laws in here in the Bible. So shall you speak it, so shall it be. So when we start speaking what we desire, all kind of windows open up. They just open up. Stuff pop out, and you don't even realize or recognize. I manifest. How many times? I can't tell you. Everybody in my class, they tell me how they manifested their way into the class. All of them. And none of them have had any kind of problems paying. None of them. So I say to you, we elite because we know how to manifest what we desire, because we know how to speak it. That's it. Y'all get hooked on these Federal Reserve notes, and y'all think, oh, this the best thing. This how you got to get some. You start doing business with the universe. Watch everything you desire show up. That's because you spoke it. So this is one of the things we talk about. When you speak it, you have given it life. And when you write it down, you have given it flesh. So as you have, just put the thought in your mind, because that's where everything that's where everything starts. The thought in your mind. Put the thought in your mind that I shall have this. And then speak it. And then write it down. And watch all of these windows of opportunity open up for you. Watch. It's all about what you speak. We manifest here. We are elite. So we don't deal with average people. Everybody in the university, they are elite. All right. It says Gemulity actually shows you the bonds and the holders. What is the first step in obtaining them? I don't know what GMEI utility is. So write that down for me, Willa. And let me know what that, so that we can look into that and talk to the brother. I downloaded these laws from your website. Thank you, Anubis. God is within. That's right, Anubis. Rick James. Thank you for joining us. Verily, Session. Thank you for joining us. How do I leave a message? In the inbox, Gwendol. Just leave your number and name, and we're going to have a consultation with you. They know there is evidence they hide. Yes. Wow, I didn't know that. Says Shadrach. All right, let's see. Billy Driver, thank you for joining. User to shock you. Think about is one. Thank you all for joining. Eli Swamp Belly. You know, I'm going to say this. I told y'all I'm a newbie to, I don't understand that, Willa. I'm a newbie to TikTok. And these names they are different. They're different. Sabrina says, I'm sorry, please, I'm late. Please repeat. You want me to repeat the whole thing, Sabrina? If there's a particular thing you want me to repeat, let me know. What area of law do you study? Thank you. Think about this one. So let's understand what areas of law. The basis of UNA are universal laws. I practice these. I walk in these. I'm drenching myself in these laws every day. In everything I do and say, I want to be drenched in these laws, universal laws. This is the basis of what UNA stands on. Natural laws. I walk these. This is how I manifest. And by the way, you can get this chart and the whole universal law chart off of UNARepublic.com/docs, DOCS. Laws of maxim. These are the laws that come directly from the Bible. These are so powerful. And yes, religion has lied to us. There are lies in the Bible. The Bible is not the perfect word of God, but it definitely holds a lot of power. And as I tell people, even if you, nobody telling you to believe in anything, but when you read the book, then you're going to gain a whole bunch of knowledge. All right. Because people want to tell us it's written by the white man. I'm going to go into this real quick. But the white man, if you read the book for yourself, if you hear somebody saying that, you know they're straight up ignorant. If you hear somebody saying that, you know they're straight up ignorant. They don't have any clue. So you don't want to be listening to that person or around them because they speak without knowing. Two things in the Bible that let you know that it was likely not written by Albions is the book of Revelations, where it's telling you straight up that the Albion is going to burn in a lake of fire. The book of Numbers in the Old Testament, the book of Revelations in the New Testament, the book of Numbers in the Old Testament is saying that white skin is a curse. Now, if I were the Albion that created this, pardon me, about to knock things over. If I were the Albion that created this Bible and so-called wrote this Bible, those two books, I would have torn them out, ripped them up, burned them, and everything else. They wouldn't be in there. If I were a white person and this book is going against every essence of who I am, there's no way that I'd let that stay in the book. That alone, and there's so many other clues, but those two books alone let you know didn't know Albion write this. Either if they wrote it, they don't have any kind of sense. Because I wouldn't have let that stay in the book. All right. So the laws of maxim, sovereignty. All right. The laws of who you are. I get into science. Do y'all understand that your DNA is a contract? CATGATCTGA. Those are codes. And they make up the DNA. You are a contract. In your body, there are two beings that signed off on your vessel. One is the mitochondria, and her DNA, that's a contract. And I go into who she is. The mitochondria, everything comes through her. Everything. You see, feel, and touch. Glass, water, wood, plastic. It came through her womb. Your skin, it came through the mitochondrial womb. She's got a contract in your vessel. Two is whatever being that created what we know as nuclear DNA. That's contract. Those are two people, or two beings rather, that signed off on your vessel. The mitochondria and whatever being put in the signature on that nuclear DNA. We're talking about CATG. And so y'all need to understand something. When we're talking about creating money, 2 signatures and 2 seals. 2 signatures and 2 seals creates money. The mitochondria and whatever other being, some people would say it's the Anunnaki. Just like these bills. Look at these bills. It's got 2 signatures, one here and one here. And it's got 2 seals, one here and one here. This is money. You are money. You are a source. There's two beings that came together to create you. You are a walking set of laws. Oh, I get into the law deep. So that's science right there. We're talking about you being a sovereign. Contract law. We get into this because we're dealing with what is a contract. Everything is a contract. And we as sovereigns, we create laws. These people down here, they don't create laws. Look at where they are. Corporation. We're talking about the United States Corporation. And you up here as a sovereign. And we're talking about contract law. It's above even federal law. We get into it. What is a contract? When are we contracting? How to rescind it? How to create them? How to hold somebody to them? Yeah, we get into it. That's contract law. Treaties. These are very important because we learn how to create treaties with the sovereign state. There's a difference because you got to learn that there's a difference between state of Georgia and Georgia Republic. Every country in North America, every state rather in North America is a country. Every state is a country. Every state is its own country. And then you know what? You got to recognize you are your own country. We start writing treaties to represent that we are a country. What is it, Diva? How am I a country? As I told you before, you are made up of many different spiritual entities. All right, because I get this question about, well, how many people I need to have a nation? You're a nation all by yourself. You are a nation all by yourself. You're made up of many different spiritual entities. All right. And so what happens is, once again, you're a walking contract. You also are made up of every element on the planet. You're walking land. You are a universe, a nation, a walking state. In fact, you need to put a treaty down to make it clear who you are and that you, the spiritual entity, is taking claim of your nation. All right, we get into the law. Down here, constitutions. This is where you're going to be writing what the laws of your nation is. And every time you create another nation, you create laws for your nation and you need to put them on record. Federal codes. This includes UCCs, where we are putting a claim or a lien on our nation. And how to do it and how to stand on it. All right? Now, when you start talking about other people's codes, statutes, and orders, and we don't even deal with this. We don't even, all that down there. And this citizen, we're not dealing with that. We start right here. Why? Why? Because federal codes, once again, federal meaning a covenant with God. These are in harmony with these laws. So we're going to respect these. And we're going to stand on them because they're going to give us some protection against these people down here. These police precincts and these courts and these judges and these codes right here. Because they're in harmony with what God said, they're going to give us some protection. So we respect this. But everything under here, we know how to deal with that. Do I have any other questions? Know your worth. That's right, Anubis. All right, I didn't have anybody that wanted to come on. Like each cell in your body acts as a brain. Yes, Anubis, every cell. And this is why it's important for you to have your vibratory frequency on high. You don't need to be thinking about, these people doing this to us and these people, they can't do no more to you than what you allow. That's it. That's how it goes. Keep your vibratory frequency high and watch how you dance around everything they try to throw at you. Keep your vibratory frequency high and watch how you dance around everything they try to throw at you. You're going to learn how to turn it and flip the script. You're going to learn how to flip the script. because you know the game, you know the laws. All right. So with that being said, I hope you all found some, got some remedy from this, got some information that helps you to want to move forward and learn this information. All right. Yes, people are going to tell you crazy. People are going to say it's not real, and that's okay. Let them speak. This, everybody's not supposed to see. Everybody's not supposed to see. But if you have eyes to see and ears to hear and patience to be willing to pay attention, everything you desire is going to come to you. All right. So with that being said, I want y'all to know I'm Diva Lyri. We should have a session coming up on Sunday. We got another session coming up on Sunday. Y'all can catch us here on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I love y'all so much. Thank you for being so beautiful. Thank you for being so kind and loving. Thank you for putting up your questions. We're going to see y'all soon. If you have any comments, or if you want to join the seminar or the sessions or whatever, send a message to UNARepublic, and we're going to make sure we do a conversation with you. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Wait a minute. Hold on. What? I got a message. Hold on. Somebody said don't leave. You said I have 150 people asking how to raise their vibratory frequency. How long have I been on here? You want to know how to raise your vibratory frequency? Hold on. I got kisses. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hold on. Let me see. Let me get into this real quick since I have you guys wanting to know about it. I can't just leave you hanging like that. I got time today. All right. Let me pull this up then. Let me pull this up, and then I'm going to get out of here. Since my producer said, don't leave yet. We got people who want to know. Okay, here we go. Vibratory frequency. All right. Now, when you're talking about pride and anger and desire and fear, all right, grief, all of this shame down here, this is negative energy. You cannot build if you're in this level because you're not in your right mind, especially if you're fearing. This is one of the most important things that's going on with how people are staying in bondage because you're fearing. Instead of being in the right mindset, you're fearing, you're angry down here, you're desiring, and you're wanting to be greedy. No, you got to be in your right mindset. All right, you got to get up here into acceptance. So I'm going to use an example, and then I'm going to get out of here. But the way that you change your vibratory frequency is to first recognize the very important law to me, the law of duality. All right. If it's causing you an issue, you've got to know that there is another side of that coin. You've got to change your mindset so that you get to the other side of the coin. Just like I told you, instead of being all upset about, oh, they forced my mama in to sign the birth certificate and all that. These people, let me tell you what your mama didn't know to do. She didn't know that her signature was money. She didn't know that as soon as she signed the document, it created $1 million instrument for her. All right. So it creates $1 million, which goes into an estate for you. And then for the last 25 years, that thing has been collecting interest. What you should be saying is, thank you, U.S. corporation, because my mama didn't know to do that. So now that you've done all that and you hooked me up like that, thank you. Come out of your anger. And now you can say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and claim this and take it over for myself. Thank you. All right. Because when you don't have that estate, you can't go up to this place and say, hey, I want to buy this house, and then have them to say, oh, well, give me your social security number. Well, once you give them your social security number, the thing has been paid for. Now, thank you for taking that social security number, because I'm going to claim the asset that you tapped into coming from my estate that my mother created for me. Thank you. We have to learn how to have gratitude. Gratitude, even in the face of something going wrong, something that has caused us sadness, something that has caused us pain. We have to learn to have gratitude, because there is always, I don't care what it is, another side to the coin. If you want to get to that other side of the coin, you got to be up here in a high vibratory frequency where we got acceptance. I accept this happened. Recognizing a reason that might be behind it. Being willing to come out of your suffering. You can't win when you're in a victim mind state. So just remember that something upsets you, you better sit down and talk to your spirits and ask them to show me how I can turn this into a better situation for me. Because there always is that. Always. That's a universal law that I talked about. That is a universal law. So when we get to that point where we're willing to come out of our victim state and recognize that everything has duality, then we're rising right now, people, because we're getting there. Everybody watching this, your vibratory frequency is raising. And as your vibratory frequency raises, we go into another set of multi-dimensions. I know y'all don't get all that, but we go into another set of dimensions. Whole bunch of windows open up for us. Opportunities, power, money, resources, everything you want, that's opening up for us. So congratulations. Congratulations. I love y'all. I'm out of here, Diva. We're going to see y'all Sunday. Peace. Send us a message.